The South China Sea is a crucial waterway connecting many Asian countries. Rich in resources, it has plentiful fish and significant oil and gas deposits. It's also a major global shipping route, with thousands of vessels transiting annually. Much of the world's trade passes through this strategic area. China claims a large part of this sea, marked by the 9-dash line, covering almost the entire South China Sea. The Philippines contests this claim based on international law, specifically the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. An international tribunal ruled in favor of the Philippines in 2016, but China does not recognize this ruling. These tensions have existed for decades but have grown sharper in recent years. Incidents at sea are becoming more frequent, involving Chinese and Philippine Coast Guard vessels. Fishing boats from both nations often face confrontations, raising the risk of escalation. The South China Sea is now a significant global flashpoint, with many nations, including the United States, Japan, and Australia, watching closely. They emphasize freedom of navigation and international law. Peace in this vital maritime domain is fragile, with high stakes for all involved. Any miscalculation could have serious consequences, making the future of this sea uncertain. Sandy Cay, near Pag-asa Island, lies within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, making its status sensitive. In April 2025, a serious incident occurred at Sandy Cay, involving vessels from the Philippine Coast Guard and Chinese maritime militia. The encounter was tense and potentially dangerous, with both sides accusing the other of provocation. The Philippines reported acts of Chinese aggression, including dangerous blocking maneuvers and the use of water cannons. Filipino fishermen were allegedly harassed, denied access to traditional fishing grounds. China, however, claimed that Philippine vessels had intruded into Chinese territorial waters illegally. They stated that their response was lawful and restrained, protecting China's sovereignty. These conflicting narratives highlighted the deep mistrust between the two nations, obscuring the truth of what happened at Sandy Cay. Imagine a scenario where China extends a surprising diplomatic offer to the Philippine government after the Sandy Cay incident. This offer aims to reshape the relationship between Beijing and Manila. The offer has two main components: diplomatic and economic. Diplomatically, China might propose renewed bilateral talks to manage disputes and suggest joint development in contested areas. A new code of conduct specific to Philippines-China interactions could be proposed. Economically, China could promise substantial new investments in Philippine infrastructure, including roads, bridges, and ports. Favorable trade deals and access to the large Chinese market might be offered, along with financial aid or soft loans. This offer is complex and would come with conditions, both explicit and implicit. Acceptance would require careful consideration by Manila, representing a strategic gambit by Beijing to draw the Philippines closer and weaken other influences. The Philippines faces a difficult choice: to accept China's offer or refuse it. Each option carries profound consequences, shaping the nation's future for years to come. Accepting the offer could bring tangible benefits, boosting the economy and reducing tensions in the South China Sea. However, the risks include potential loss of sovereignty and economic dependence on China. Critics warn that accepting China's terms might weaken the Philippines' legal claims and undermine the 2016 arbitral award. Public opinion might be strongly against such a deal, with nationalism being a powerful force in the Philippines. Historically, the relationship between the Philippines and China has seen ups and downs, with periods of closer diplomatic ties and economic cooperation despite political differences. This new offer would mark a decisive new chapter, requiring careful consideration of the risks and benefits. The United States would watch this situation with intense focus, as the Philippines is a formal treaty ally. A mutual defense treaty has linked the two nations since 1951, with a long and complex history. The U.S. and the Philippines conduct regular joint military exercises with deep defense cooperation. If Manila accepts China's offer, Washington would express serious concern, seeing it as a shift in regional power dynamics. Such a deal could signal a weakening of the U.S. alliance system, with significant strategic interests at stake. Freedom of navigation is a primary concern for the U.S., with the Navy regularly conducting operations to assert this right. The credibility of U.S. alliances is vital, and any perceived drift could raise questions among other allies. Countering China's growing influence is a major U.S. policy goal, and a significant Philippine tilt towards China would be a setback. This could weaken the U.S. strategic position in Southeast Asia, a critical region in the Indo-Pacific contest. Any major decision by the Philippines will affect ASEAN, a key regional body valuing consensus and unity. The South China Sea dispute involves several ASEAN members, making the issue particularly sensitive. ASEAN has been trying to negotiate a code of conduct with China, with Vietnam, Malaysia and Brunei also having claims in the South China Sea. If the Philippines strikes a bilateral deal with China, it could set an important precedent, potentially dividing ASEAN. Some member states might welcome reduced tensions, while others might fear increased Chinese dominance and the erosion of international law. ASEAN's ability to speak with one voice could be compromised, weakening its influence on regional security matters. Beyond Southeast Asia, other powers like Japan, Australia, India, and European nations would also react, as a shift in the Philippines' stance could alter their calculations. Several future scenarios could unfold from this hypothetical situation. If Manila accepts China's offer, short-term tensions with Beijing might ease, and economic benefits could flow into the Philippines. However, new problems could emerge, including strained relations with traditional allies like the United States and growing domestic political opposition. Questions about long-term sovereignty would persist, making this path risky. Alternatively, Manila could refuse China's offer or accept only minor parts of it, likely maintaining or escalating tensions with China. The Philippines would need to deepen its reliance on allies like the United States, continuing the struggle to assert its sovereign rights. Is there a third way for the Philippines? Perhaps a path of partial acceptance or prolonged negotiations with China? Manila could try to extract maximum benefits while conceding as little as possible, requiring skilled diplomacy. Ultimately, the decision made by the Philippines is of immense significance, sending ripples across the entire Indo-Pacific region. It is a test of national sovereignty, the durability of alliances, and a defining moment for the Philippines, shaping the geopolitical landscape for years to come.